Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the October 26, 2016 meeting of the Delhi Township Board of Trustees. As our usual practice, we will open the meeting first with a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's moment of silence is dedicated to our veterans, with gratitude for their service to our country, with thoughtful remembrance of those who paid the ultimate price, and with prayers for those who have and still are serving. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, then. Motions for consideration this evening, Mr. Luby?
Motion 2016-184, approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting held on October 12, 2016, and dispense with the reading.
I move motion 2016-184 to approve the minutes.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion 2016-185, approve bills for payment.
I move motion 2016-185 to approve bills for payment.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion 2016-186, approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending October 11th, 2016.
I move motion 2016-186 to approve the payment of overtime.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion 2016-187, accept the award for fiscal year 2016 of $2,000 from the Bureau of Justice Assistance Department Bulletproof Vest Partnership, reimbursing the police department in the purchasing of bulletproof vests.
I move motion 2016-187 to accept the award of $2,000 from BVP.
I second the motion.
I believe, Chief Howarth, you have some comments for this?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, this is a federal grant that we apply for every year. We were awarded $2,000. So basically, when we order vests, our vests last for 5 years, and we have to replace them. So we get 50% reimbursement. So this coming year, we can purchase $4,000 worth of vests as they expire, and we'll be reimbursed $2,000.
Great. And those are on a regular cycle of replacement?
Rotation.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion 2016-188, approve the Parks and Recreation Director to take the necessary actions to change the address of Delhi Park to represent the address of 421 Delhi Park Drive off of Delhi Avenue, Pike.
I move motion 2016-188 to change the address of Delhi Park to represent the address of 421 Delhi Park Drive.
I second the motion.
Mr. Landrum, do you have comments for this?
Just if you haven't noticed, there is a new park sign. It's right there at the entrance, designating that as Delhi Park and the Glen Carter Lodge. So we're very proud of that. With that, it's been our goal all along to get the address of the park changed so that it no longer not only brings it in from Foley, but brings it in down the business corridor. With the signage, we didn't want to change it until there's a sign there so people know, oh, there's the park entrance. So that now that the sign is up, this motion will give us a permission to go ahead and do the necessary changes, which includes a post office and a parcel assignment of the 421 Delhi Park Drive, as well as starting to begin doing like on Google Maps and doing all those stuff so that it will be a recognized place when people Google it and or MapQuest or whatever on trying to get directions for Delhi Park. So very exciting now to bring them down the business corridor.
Well, this had been a recommendation earlier from Stantec that we utilize the park traffic by bringing our visitors up Delhi Pike and through our business area. So I'm glad to see that we've accomplished changing this. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. No presentations this evening. Trustees' correspondence. Trustee Oswald.
I just want to report on the Delhi Days. Trustee Sturts and I went to Delhi Days. It was very well organized at the Mount St. Joe. They were very hospitable. Dr. Williams was very helpful in doing everything we did. So we really appreciate it. We got to see a win. There was great weather. I think their record's now 5-3. They have a pretty good freshman quarterback. So it was a good time, and we truly appreciate it.
Trustee Sturts?
Yes, I attended the senior citizen or senior center, bicentennial event. It was very fun. They worked really hard. The dancing troupe they have and their chorus performed. Some new people attended from the Delhi area, some who had never been in the building before. So it was a lot of fun, and I want to thank the seniors for their hard work on making that a nice day and all the work that went into it.
All right. I only had one correspondence, and this was about illegal parking, or what might be assumed as illegal parking on Anders Court, from a Mr. Walter Hughes. And Officer Abby Ballman, our new officer, and Officer Goddard went over and took a look at the situation and have posted warnings and talked to the residents. So we don't know yet that this parking problem of being on the sidewalk has stopped, but people on Anders Court were watching you. Don't park on the sidewalk. So thank you, Mr. Hughes, and I'm sorry you had to, come up with a complaint about it. All right. Report from our fiscal officer?
No report.
All right. No public hearings. Then reports from departments. We'll begin with Josh Torbeck, Director of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, trustees. Mr. Landrum has the full levy presentation up here. I'm not going to go through all of that, but it will be on the website if anybody wants to take a look at it, see if there's any questions they may have, but it will be up on the website for them to review. I just want to do a quick review of the levy and some of the facts. It is a .54 mil levy. Annual cost per 100K home will be only $18.90. And remember, this is a operating levy. This is not for capital improvements. That'll still be done through TIF. Capital improvements are the park paving project, new vehicles, things of that nature. What will the levy provide? Basically 4 main points. The first is what we're calling a park resource officer. It's a collaboration with the Delhi Township Police Department, creating a position that basically puts a uniformed officer in the park 7 days a week, about 8 months a year. You can imagine the increased safety, security, customer service this will provide the park. So it really would be a great addition to the park. The second thing, we went through a whole year of bicentennial events, concerts. It's a one-year thing. This levy gives us the ability to carry that on, carry that momentum into 2017 and years after that. So we can provide additional concerts, programming, events, festivals, things like that. Number 3 is increased assistance to the Delhi seniors, offsetting some costs for them and allowing us to provide some support personnel if they were to need it in the future. Right now we couldn't do that. This gives us the ability to be able to do that in the future if need be. And number 4 is for the Parks Department to operate without subsidy from the general fund. This year we're approaching about $200,000 that we're getting subsidized. With state cuts, the general fund won't be able to sustain this for long into the future. It's important that we find a solution outside of the subsidy from the general fund. Now, hearing all that, if you do have any questions, what we'll be having is a second open house. It'll be November 2nd. That's a Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. It's at the Glen Carter Lodge. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, this is a great time to come up. If you'd like to get involved, this is a great time to come up. If you want to come up and give us compliments, great time to come up and tell us how good we're doing. So this is open discussion. I'm not going to sit there and lecture and tell you the facts that are all out there. This is a time for you to come up and have a conversation with myself. So if you can make it, please come out. I will be there and happy to answer any questions or concerns anybody has.
This is a great opportunity for residents to come in and talk about the parks, talk about the levy, talk about the use of any future levy money. So if you can make that opportunity happen, come to the open house on November the 2nd. And the time again?
5 to 7 p.m.
5 to 7 p.m.
If you can't make it at 5, you're not going to miss anything because this is your time to sit down and talk to me. So
And your levy number on the ballot will be?
33.
33. All right. Thank you, Josh. Second presentation this evening is from Chief Campbell from the Fire Department.
Thank you, trustees. This Sunday, it's it's kind of well known that as part of the fire department function, we're in everybody's houses from time to time. About 3,000 runs a year, and we still do not touch probably a good 80% of the population. So this is a way to kind of reverse roles, invite everybody into the firehouse, kind of see what we have, little insight in our service. This year's special. We're celebrating our 80th year of service in Delhi Township. It's also the 10th year anniversary of the museum. So a lot has changed in that period of time. We will have University Air Care will be arriving around 12:30, so just before we actually get things kicked off at 1 o'clock at the firehouse. You'll probably hear the thunder overhead. UC does not come out very often to Delhi. We don't use them. We're close enough to the hospital, so it is kind of extraordinary that they're going to offer the helicopter out there. So that will be landing in OLV Sports Complex, and it'll be free for everybody to go over there and take a look, see at what they do and stuff. And they'll have their own presentation while they're there as well. Also, Miles Greenwood Society will be bringing out, I believe, 3 or 4 antique apparatus. They'll be on display there near the firehouse. We'll be offering the Kiddie Combat Challenge again. That's always a big hit with the kids. And then this year, because we have had some feedback on having things for younger kids, we will have some activities for the real young ones as well. We're going to have canine demonstration, both fire service and our canine with the police department, both doing demonstrations. So kind of give you both aspects of canine service. The safety trailer will be returning. We're going to go in depth as far as our work performance evaluation, what it takes to be a firefighter, and have demonstrations and actually show what a Delhi firefighter has to do physically to test for the position and things like that. So they'll have those scenarios. I, of course, will be on the floor available for questions on the new firehouse, anything that we offer in terms of services. Basically, my job is just to be available where the questions are asked, but I will be there as well. We'll be grilling hot dogs and hamburgers for everyone, and our colleagues with CERT and Hamilton County EMA will be joining us as well. So a lot of things going on at once. It should be fun for everybody. We managed to kind of dodge the Bengals game, so it's that morning, but everybody should have no excuse to come visit us at the firehouse.
Okay, and I think you also had another update for us.
Oh, yes. Ben Pritchard. Shout out to Ben Pritchard. He competed yesterday and today in Montgomery, Alabama. He is in the International Scots Firefighter Combat Challenge. We know we say his name a lot when it comes to the stair climb. So along those same lines, this is a physical competition. He is in an international match. I'm proud to say that today he beat his personal best. 1 minute, 26 seconds. If you watch this, it's phenomenal to just see how fast he is compared to everybody else. I will report to the board when I find out exactly where he ends up in the standings. It's comical because we just hired him full-time, and he's missing his first full shift. He had to take a trade because he's already planned to be down there. So that it's kind of nice, and it's exciting. You know, he's there representing his fire team, but he is a Delhi firefighter, so it's really good for us.
Well, and I believe we'll be swearing in the full-time firefighters on November the 9th, right?
Yes, yes.
I have a
Yeah,
question
we'll make
about the
that happen.
helicopter. Is it going to be there the entire time of your open house, or it's just going to land, do a little thing, and then take off again?
It will be there for a good duration. The only kind of caveat is if they get called for another call. But no, they're good about staying. As long as they get regular visits, they will continue. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. All right, then, reading of the resolutions, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2016-243, resolution approving purchase order obligations incurred on behalf of the township by the township administrator, authorizing payment of certain purchase order obligations and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-244, resolution amending appropriations for expenses, authorizing transfers from one appropriation item to another, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Landrum?
Yes, two changes. One is an additional appropriation in the zoning fund under the line item advertisements, $2,000 increase in appropriations, and this is basically due to the large increase in nuisances that we've had today this year due to all the notifications that we have to provide to the homeowners and landowners. So $2,000 for advertisements. The second one is just a transfer in between accounts, so nothing additional, just a transfer in the fire fund from gasoline into fire vehicle repairs of $5,000, and that's just to help the fire chief to address, continue to finish out repairs on the equipment vehicles the rest of the year.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-245, resolution accepting the resignation of Jane Patton and appointing Daniel F. Burke Jr. to the Delhi Township Zoning Commission for the unexpired term ending December 31st, 2017, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Burke, and thank you for your service.
Resolution 2016-246, resolution declaring certain items of personal property unit for the use acquired, that the items have no value, authorizing disposal or salvage thereof, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Landrum?
Just a couple things. Two items are from information services. One's a battery backup that died, and the other is the DVR that had died again.
I mean the one used for the meeting?
Yes, yeah. We go through those like no other. And then the rest, the other three items are small items, but the uniform and badge and fire helmet for retired fire personnel.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-247, resolution imposing parking restrictions on Centerview Drive at Austin Hill Court, directing the placement of signs, postings, and publication in accordance with revised code 505.17, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Chief Howarth?
Yeah, thank you, President. This complaint actually came into me some time ago, and the complaint was if you're sitting on Austin Hill, if you're familiar with it, and you look southbound on Centerview, there's always a car, mainly a truck or a van, parked right on the corner and obstruct the view to the point when you turned right, you had to go left of center, and then if there was a car coming down Centerview. So myself and Lieutenant Braun responded out, looked at the situation. One time we got there, the vehicle wasn't there. Next time we got there, it was. We observed it, and we do agree with the complainant. I will like to make note, we tried to make resolution with the actual individual that parks the vehicle there. When there's a car parked there, it's not too bad because you can see over the car, but when the big full-size truck or the vans parked there, that's when it's very difficult. We tried to rectify the situation without having to go this route, but unfortunately it persists and the vehicle continued to park there, so therefore we recommend through Public Works and went out there with Ron Rippiger and his staff to look at it also and agree that the sign needs to be posted.
So this resolves a safety issue.
Exactly, and it takes away one parking spot, basically.
All right.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-248, resolution certifying violation abatement expenses at 4249 Skylark Drive to the county auditor for assessment and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-249, resolution declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 4249 Skylark Drive and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Yeah, you just did a resolution for the same property.
Yes.
That was for a junk vehicle.
All right.
So you're aware of what that is. Oops, sorry. Microphone wasn't on. You just did that resolution prior. It was for a junk vehicle. Now we're back to deal with the yard, the condition of the yard. So this is an occupied structure on Skylark. Staff did receive a complaint for this address. We did issue informal orders. The property was inspected this morning. It's still in the same condition. So we do request that you use the, or declare it a nuisance so we can use our nuisance abatement procedures.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-250, resolution declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 388 Don Lane and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Sure. This is a vacant property. It is unfortunately a repeat offender we've had. As you can see, there is excessive vegetation in the yard. With the cooler weather, it's kind of settled down a little bit, but it still has not been addressed. Staff did receive a complaint about this address. We did issue informal orders with no compliance. We did inspect it this morning. It's still in the same condition, and we request that you declare it a nuisance so we can follow our nuisance abatement procedures.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-251, resolution declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5366 Rapid Run Road and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
This is an occupied structure. It's another repeat offender. They primarily don't address the rear yard, and that's where we seem to have the continual problem with the property. The front yard's always addressed. It's the backyard. We did get a complaint about it. We went out. We issued informal orders, no compliance. Inspected it this morning, still in the same condition. So we do request that you declare it a nuisance so we can follow our nuisance abatement procedures.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes. I have no citizens' comments, correct? All right. Announcement of community events then, Mr. Luby.
The bicentennial celebration, as part of that, the Mount St. Joseph University Community Trick or Treat will be Wednesday, October 26th, 2016, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be at the Harrington Center, located by the tennis courts in the west parking lot. The Delhi Township Fire Department open house will be Sunday, October 30th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It'll be at the Delhi Fire Headquarters at 697 Neeb Road. Halloween will be Monday, October 31st, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The Delhi Park Levy open house will be Wednesday, November 2nd, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Delhi Park Lodge at 5125 Foley Road. The Delhi Branch Library, the African Penguin Encounter with Newport Aquarium, will be Saturday, November 5th at 11 a.m. at the Newport Aquarium at 1 Aquarium Way. The Bicentennial Celebration, Delhi Township Veterans Association Veterans Day Program will be Sunday, November 6th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. will be at the Veterans Memorial Park at 934 Neeb Road. The presidential election will be Tuesday, November 8th. Polling locations will be open from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. The Delhi Historical Society and Delhi Neighbors Share Memories of Growing Up in Delhi will be Wednesday, November 9th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll be at the Delhi Park Lodge at 5125 Foley Road. That's all we have.
All right, thank you. There is no reason for executive session this evening, so if I may have Trustee Oswald call for adjournment.
With no further business, I motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Everyone have a safe Halloween. It is from 6 to 8, so behave and enjoy yourself and watch your children out there. Thank you.
I didn't even notice it when I read it.
You're reading, I'm like, when they watch this, it's going to be done.